Hey everybody, welcome back to Sudbury Politics, the show. I'm Danielle.
And from behind the camera, I'm Josh. We've taken some time off this summer, but politics has not.
So join us with our co-hosts, Richard, Rachel, and Jeff, while we discuss the top 10 political stories that you may have missed while you're at camp.
As Jeff was hollering during our little pre-show here. So yeah, I think if even if you lived under a rock, you would have tuned into this one at some point on your news feed this summer. Big Liberal scandal again. We Charity Canada basically teamed up with the federal government to administer a program for post-secondary students. Of course, any Liberal scandal always has the involvement in some fashion, I feel, with Trudeau's family. In this case, Trudeau's mother was paid about $250,000 over 4 years to speak at We Charity events. His brother was paid about $32,000. Trudeau and his wife Sophie have been attending these charity events. Sophie even has her own podcast, I believe, about it. And so, of course, Trudeau, once again, his family, kind of profited in some fashion from this. And, Trudeau's expenses from him and Sophie attending these events ended up being reimbursed. And of course, let's rope in a minister to make this a little bit more exciting. So Bill Morneau, he's involved with We Charity. His daughter, I believe multiple daughters actually work for the We Charity. And his family took some humanitarian trips overseas. And he just declared that he never actually received or paid that invoice. So essentially, when the discussion about We Charity and, obtaining this agreement with the charity came up in Parliament, for some reason, Mr. Trudeau, Bill Morneau, they didn't think to potentially recuse themselves from the discussion. They didn't think to ask, perhaps, the ethics commissioner if they should recuse themselves. They have since apologized. And that's kind of here we are in terms of number 3 ethics scandal behind Trudeau in his term. And me just getting more and more pissed off as a Liberal as these years go on. So, did it need to be a scandal? Probably not. Probably not the most juiciest thing in the entire world. But the fact that it is number 3 and the fact that it is literally blown up to be the story of the summer makes it one. So, Danielle, what are your thoughts on the wee scandal?
I mean, there's a few things with it. So, again, it's his 3rd ethics violation. So it's not necessarily the wee scandal in and of itself. It's the fact that once again, we see Prime Minister Trudeau, the golden boy, the do as I say, not as I do, Prime Minister, embroiled in another scandal with little consequence to him, again, which I think that's the part that bothers me the most. And it's, he comes in and he says, I'll never do this, I'll never do that, I'll never do this, I'll never do that, I'll never probe Parliament, I'll never do what the other governments before me did. Well, he's living in a glass house and he's throwing stones. So there's a problem there. I think it matters in a couple of ways, though. It's number 3, and it seems to keep bouncing off of him. So to me, we're giving our politicians, as of late, it seems, and I don't know if it's because of the current climate that we're living in COVID and there's bigger things to deal with, but it just seems to me that we're not really holding them as accountable as they ought to be held. And it, we could see ourselves in a fall election. So what happens with that? Does the opposition have ammo now? If it's even considered to be ammo? Like, in my head, I can see the attack ads using this against him if he is going to run again. That's another big question. Who knows? But I think that, I mean, his family was so tied closely to this. And to me, it's kind of a no-brainer that you would recuse yourself from something like this. Like, even our municipal politicians know where the line is in terms of recusing themselves if they have a pecuniary interest. And if they don't, they ask. And you never, that we know of, there was never an ask made. So he's sitting in cabinet deliberations. Morneau is sitting in cabinet deliberations when both of their families are involved with this organization. And it's not like it went out to a competitive bid process and there was a discussion over an award of a contract. It was basically a sole source handout to a charity that both of these players have ties to. So it stinks to me, to be completely honest with you. It's unethical to me, and it's his third ethics violation. He's being investigated under 3 sections of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Act. Morneau's got 1 against him, but I'm so tired of the do as I say, not as I do from politicians, and us not holding them to account, you know, and everything seems to be bouncing off. And again, I don't know if it's because of COVID and there's just bigger fish to fry right now, but especially with him in particular, things just seem not to stick to him. And it's kind of infuriating from my point of view anyway.
I mean, in the extent that you have fish to fry, they are larger than this. This is a perfect summertime scandal because, you know, other than our daily COVID reports, which took the sort of air of faraway fire reports do in the summertime. Oh yeah, there's COVID. Oh yeah, there's we got nothing else. What's going on CNN? Let's look in to see what's happening on the other side of the border, where things are actually where violations of ethics actually have real consequences for real people. There are.
Do they though?
They should.
Do they though? But that's the thing.
The consequences of the we scandal. I mean, ultimately, we is hurt by this. The charity, which maybe it was doing good things, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the Kielburgers are just showy. I don't know. That charity's gone. It's shut down its Canadian operations, completely gone. So they paid a big price. But Justin Trudeau and this Liberal government, there's no price to pay. The opposition parties want people to care about this a lot. And I can appreciate both of you, who are obviously extremely ethical people, care about the number of ethics violations. I don't know what that says about me. In fact, I do know what that says about me. It says, realistically, this is a summertime barbecued nothing burger that has no impact at all on the electorate as of right now. It's a done topic, and ultimately, we can't expect, the electorate and us are, talking now, can't expect the Liberals to do better. Like, we know that they can't. Why do we even care? We know they can't do better than this. They are gonna screw this stuff up. I don't know why, but they are. And I think most Liberals are probably more frustrated about it than anybody. All the opposition just wants more people to care, and the rest of us are all just like, next story. More interesting stories on CNN.
Are we saying it's next story because this has just become like somewhat run of the mill though?
Yeah, I think so.
Next story because it's really just not that big of a deal what happened. Like, why are we saying next story? Are we saying next story because it's, well, yeah, that's politics for you?
Because I don't think it has any actual impact.
Or are we saying
it doesn't have any impact on anyone's life?
What they did.
Like right now,
but it does impact people's life. It impacts the students. That there was 35,000 students that applied for this program.
Well, there were 35,000 students that applied for a program that didn't occur.
And now this program didn't occur. So there were 35,000 students who had no income over the summer, had no ability to get a summer job, and because of the actions of the government and they have nothing anymore because the program's essentially shut down. And like you said, a charity that may have been doing good work in Canada has now lost its footing, and the government is still standing and Trudeau is still shining. So to me,
Rachel,
it doesn't matter. matter?
Rachel, first word, last word. Does this matter?
Why are we still making these mistakes? 5 years later, smarten up. We shouldn't, they shouldn't, liberals shouldn't, nobody in Parliament should be that stupid. And I think from that sense, yeah, Danielle has a point in that we shouldn't be tolerating this kind of behavior. And hence why this is probably the first time I've voiced how pissed off I am with my own party. So that's my last word, is smarten the fuck up.
Be better. Now we're going to pass this over to you. Does this matter? Is it important? Tell us why or why not in the comments below.
Be sure to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next installment in Sudbury Politics, the show's top 10 political stories you missed this summer while at camp.
That's it. We're not doing it again.
Fuck it.
Richard, take it. That's it. That's all you get.
This one, trust me.
This one. This is the only one on the recording. So that's it. Just take it.